Hey, welcome in. Mega Drive, not doing much on it. Game Boys and Neo Geo will be PCB. What do you think with them re-PCBs? Do you want me jump on them or just let you jump on them in between stuff?
Yeah, it's if we've got the
boards.
Yeah.
Well, we've got tons there, haven't we?
Yeah.
I'll do Neo Geo, I think, then. I'll try jump on them at the weekend. If not, I'll do a few, but I'll jump on.
How many did they open? I think they opened about 5 or 6 of them.
Oh, we said we're going to ask him, aren't we? If he's okay with just 1 and 2s. Yeah, I'll leave him for now and do the thingy then. Neo Geo, because that's nearly 2 months old. Oh yeah, so YouTube's on, Twitch is on. It's actually working for once. Complete post details. Save. Go live. There we go. See if this fits. Get them out of the way first. Don't know whether Facebook's crashed. I don't know. It's just really slow at going live. Maybe. Reload the page. Oh yeah, I just have to click play. That's weird. Mute. Right then. Still haven't got Twitch chat up ever. That's definitely gone forever. Yeah, that'll do. Let's get this tested. Right, so we've got finally, this is that Mega Drive where it's the case we don't currently support, where it's missing the stump. I've just finally designed a bracket which I'm about to test if it even works. Should do. If everything fits in, hopefully. Yeah, seems pretty close. So the way I've designed this is to place it on here first and put the screw in here. So the original screw to the motherboard. Like so. And then that's now rock solid because it hits this plastic. It will not, you can push on it, it's not going to move. So that'll be pretty solid. You've got like no movement at all, or that slightest movement that can move once and then locks in. So that should be solid. And then with that in, because this board covers that, we can slide it through and yeah, lock it into them holes. Which looks like it's going to fit. And then if that's right, hopefully, yeah, pretty much perfect. Let me go on, zoom in, pull focus. Yeah, so there you go. That's pretty perfect, to be honest. That's all locked in now. And then we just have to solder wires then. From ground and VCC to ground and VCC. So basically that's VCC, that's ground. And then this should work. Yeah, what do you think of that for central? It's pretty, that's pretty bang on. For your templator. And then you just have to screw that in first, like the one lights out, and then place that and screw on there.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Let's get these wires on. Oh, thanks for the like. I can't see a non-sub Twitch chat, by the way, because OBS has decided to remove all the Twitch chat. So if you message on Twitch at the minute, I'll only see subs chat, and it'll pop up on stream. In fact, let me screenshot this and share it in Discord as well, because people are obviously waiting for this. So that's it. So you can tell ground because, well, this cap's on ground here, for example, and then this ferrite bead goes to ground, and you'll typically find these crosshatch relief vias on ground planes. So see these stars, basically. When you see like stars, it's not always, but usually indicates ground as well. And failing that, obviously multimeter. So this one's ground, and then this one goes down all the way to the power switch. So we want to wire them in right. So I'm just going to tack that one onto there. Stripper tool isn't working. Don't like being used left-handed. And then ground will go over to there, so about that one. And then this is just quickly to test this fit, and then we'll get onto the Game Boy games. And we'll do a Neo Geo as well. I don't know what's wrong with it. Pretty sure there's like it's faulty. I don't think it's a working system, but I haven't even looked yet. into there. There we go, so that's that one in. Now we know this console works anyway, because it's the one we did on stream the other day. And, zoom out on here. It's just maybe... I'll just do a power. We even got power light. No, got an output now. But I know this works, I'll build it up later. Yeah, that's the only downside to the Mega Drive. One I remember as well, this hole is like, you kind of want it sticking out because that doesn't go through enough. So I might just have to thin out. You can either thin out that plastic, which then gets a bit more fragile, and push it all forward, or you can widen the hole. So I'll probably, I don't know which way around we do it. I think you still have to, oh no you don't have to open it. Yeah, I just need to move that forward more basically. So you're gonna have to get that poking through the shell and thin out the plastic on that, but it obviously all fits and works as we want it to. So I'll do a last tweak on that. Yeah, move holes forward, move that forward, cool. Right, so let's get on to fixing these. So we've got 3 here. We have Pokemon Red doesn't load past Nintendo. It's changed the battery and reflowed, so we'll see what that issue is. We've got Pokemon Silver doesn't load past the logo. So the customers worked on these bad loops trying to get them working already, so they're likely not just going to be battery swaps. This hasn't been working for a while now, so basically all 3 games, these are potentially bad, so we'll have a look. And this one, cartridge not working, may need cleaning. So we've got four ones here. Let's try this one first. Let me check if he's actually paid for anything first. 55170. And 3 game as issues. Yeah, he's paid for these. Where's that window? Close that. Right, so let's see what we're dealing with. It's unlikely going to just be cartridge cleaning if the customer's already been inside and swapped stuff, so. Oh yeah, put batteries on as well. Yeah, so we've got corrupt graphics there, but it's not going to be, I highly doubt it's going to be game clean. A way to tell normally as well, if you think it's a dirty cartridge, if you look at the screen when it turns on, if you check the symbols, if that's basically like raw reading data. If this looks exactly the same, so let's say that little plus and the plus there, if they look exactly the same with inserting and removing, which they do, see there's absolutely no change, then it's very likely not going to be a dirty cartridge, basically. So Pokemon Red gets to there, and then apparently doesn't load. Yeah. So that could be a higher address pin issue. Turn the volume down on that one. Yeah, so difference in behavior. So pretty much what the customer says. I'm also using a really dodgy power switch. Yeah, so on this test console we've got a really bad power switch there that isn't helping. That's what the customer said, and then this one, can't remember what he said about it. I think he just said it hasn't worked for a while, so this one again, lines. See if we get the same. Yeah, so they've all got the same kind of issue where you're not seeing any variance when you're cleaning it, so we'll probably deal with damage to traces. Let's start with Pokemon Silver. Oh yeah, you can see quite clear signs of liquid damage there. tools, too many tools. There's my screwdriver thing. Let's get this in. Let's just take all these out in one go. And let's start with this then, Pokemon Silver. So that's just our IPA, but there's obviously signs of corrosion there. That slight green tint there that you can kind of see. That'll be probably previous damage. Now, bear in mind how clean these are. The customer's been in them, so the chances are now we can't see where they had issues. But straight away, we've got some potential bad trace right there going through. And possibly nothing else, but like I said, the problem is the customers clean this board heavily, so normally where there's hints of where to look, there wouldn't be, but the board isn't that many traces anyway. There's practically nothing on them. So from a rapid glance, I'd say the only issue with this one is probably these here. And let's try and just gently rub, and this wouldn't be enough to eat through existing traces. So yeah, you can see just taking off that, we've probably just got one bad trace here. Let's see. Yeah, so he's blown out, the other one's fine, so hopefully just this one little trace. So what do we do to fix him? I mean, it's far enough away from the cartridge connector there, we can just bridge over there, so I think good old enamel wire for this one. And we'll just put a wire bridge straight over and epoxy it probably. Let's go to scope so I can see what I'm doing. That's not scope. There you go. Get a bit of flux. Go there. And then it should be as simple as, we're going to try and not touch the other traces, try and keep it looking a bit clean, but that might not be possible. Guess we can't quite avoid the other trace. Not that it matters, it's purely aesthetics I was going for there. And get some wire. More flux. There we go, all tacked on nicely. I don't know how much you could see of that, but needed to do that under the scope really. And then fingers crossed that's the only issue on that board. If not, I think we'll just lift off the chips because there's nothing else I can see visual there at all. clean that flux off, and then we'll seal this after. Let's see if this even works first. And that's hopefully the only problem. Let's put him back in the case. And then the battery, let's just test the battery actually. The customer mentioned he's done the battery, but they sometimes go flat. 3.1, it's okay, that is. Hey, thanks for the like again. Let's see, hopefully this works. Oh, there we go, Nintendo. Now that got further than before because this was the game that didn't do this. Pokemon Red did this. Take that down, it's still loud. Wishful thinking, let's just keep doing that. To be honest, I haven't even tested if this console works. Let's try Super Mario of mine. Should have actually started with that check. Yeah, so console's good, so let's just whip the chips off. There's going to be the more trace damage underneath all bad chips. And given that we found one, there's obviously been quite a bit of trace right in here somewhere. Now we could go around and probe every single trace. I tend to find, I mean, they look, yeah, no, they're fine. I'm going to guess the rot's under the chips at this point. And all we're looking for really is dark green. The V is breaking, you'll never see usually. So if they break around like the annular on this rim or hairline, like places where they change over, like say this line here, if there was a thin line passing between silkscreen and nothing, you don't see the damage. But I don't see any other immediately obvious damage traces anywhere. And you can have this chip as well go bad. And then this chip can stop the game booting. So we might whip him off, but I think we'll just start with just gutting the board of chips really, because there's only 4 on. So let's get the battery off, we'll put a new battery on anyway. We'll put this one back on if it's already fully charged, doesn't really matter. Let's get this out of the way first, because this is providing power to the board. And just hot air the other chips off. And then just remember which way they go back on, which is this little gold arrow here is indicating pin 1. Mine zoomed in extra there we go. In fact, this is probably too big to pick this up. But... So we've got the memory bank controller there, MBC. So if these go faulty, it can't switch. So you could be dealing with faulty chips still, in which case they're generally not worth fixing, because our time plus a donor puts it out of like economical repair basically, because it costs more than buying some of the games. So to be honest, we can actually take them off, check under them and put them back on. So that actually has nothing under the chip or 3 vias. So let's just check the vias. Well, we can. We need to make sure we're doing physical checks, not just visual, because once we put this back down, we can't check. So that's the only 3 pins under there that are covered by the chip, so that's not a problem. I don't think this will boot either with memory bank controller missing. You can try it just for fun, but I'm pretty sure to load the initial part of the game, the memory bank controller would be needing to be working anyway. Yeah, so it doesn't even give a valid entry ROM if we don't have that on. So let's put him back on. And we'll test after each one as well, because you can get, in rare instances, just poor solder. So even though it looks good, you could have like a poor solder joint that's fractured. So just reflowing the chips sometimes can make it work again. So we'll do a check at each stage just to be sure. Cool to the touch now. So this should get us back to Nintendo logo and white screen, I presume. Oh, there you go. Good job we checked that. So there was no broken traces, but the memory bank controller just must have had dry joints, basically. So again, something you'll never visually see. Better put the battery on, haven't we? So it's not always something where you can tell, like looking at it, you'll see there was no obvious damage there whatsoever, but that's the culprit. So that was a good start, right? Just first chip we removed. But there was also obviously the broken trace down here that was broken. That's why it wasn't giving us the correct screen at the start as well. So let's chuck his battery back on and move on to the next one. Battery done. And let's just make sure this actually saves as well. What time is it? 3:31. TV's trying to turn off at the exact same time. Nope, I did not click that. There we go. 3. I hope this is not 24-hour. Well, actually, it is 24-hour, but I presume it's going to ask me for PM. I can't remember. Oh, maybe not. I think we've set it to the wrong time, but the customer can fix that. Mallow. Has a bad volume wheel. I know he isn't Ash in this one, but he's going to be Ash. There we go. Get my free potion. Oh, you don't get a free potion in silver. Swizzle. You're asking me, I don't know what day it is myself. Is it Friday or Saturday? It's Friday. Is it daylight? No idea. I'm going to say yes. PM, there we go. Yes, I know how to use the phone. And you'll still tell me anyway. You're doing that and outside and save. That's it. And all the graphics look okay. Yep, everything seems to be working. So, power off, take out, wait, 5-10 seconds, and then we'll check that save still there. Oh, I've actually got dirty pins on this console. Yeah, doesn't help the lag because I'm using a test console that's got a bad power switch, a bad slider, and a bad cartridge port, but I guess if it works in this, it's going to work in any. Yep, that one's all good. Right then, next one. So this red, let's just remind us again. Now, if you remember, this one is doing very similar to the silver. It's loading and then not working. So shall we just go straight for a presumed identical issue with a, ooh, or maybe not, this one is, yeah, it's got a lot of, I mean, it might still be, but there's a blatantly obvious water damage. So if we just touch this, it's just going to flake off. So this dark green is the sign where you've had electrolyte or water damage. So again, a quick once over, but the fact we're getting that first logo is, well, to be honest, it only checks the lower pins, but kind of a goodish sign. No other obvious things there. Are these missing as well? I can't remember. Oh, I haven't got the crystal on for a start. So actually, I think this board didn't have the crystal, the red. We don't have time on Pokemon Red, so maybe, yeah, that's a bit strange. Memory button controller, we've got the save. Yeah, so that's probably why we don't have the crystal on red. I'm guessing it's just been pre-filled. I can't even remember off the top of my head if red has it. Or these. I can look up a picture online to be sure. That maybe has been Flux here. I'll probably take him off if reflowing this doesn't work. So let's just start with a simple reflow. Again, let's just see if we're lucky on this. And you can see how it doesn't look, like none of this looks bad. Like nothing terribly bad. So let's see if, even though it looks okay, if it's fixed by a reflow. Definitely some like extra light on it as well. Maybe not that much. So quick clean of that. Well, reflow basically. Let's see if that's done the trick. I doubt we'll be that lucky that we've got two identical issues, but it's worth a try. And then if not, I'll probably double check if that board's missing any components, because I'm not 100% sure those components aren't meant to be on. So now it's staying at that, which it didn't do before, which is interesting. But again, bear in mind this console is very dodgy on the pins. That's got a different thing there. In fact, has that been the same? Which is interesting. I didn't notice that before. Are we actually dealing with a broken trace? Because that E isn't right, is it? I don't think. Let's check with Pokemon Silver. Oh, this console, I need to probably get a decent console instead of testing with this one. Yeah, so the E's wrong on it. So let's just take a look. I'm just going to take this chip off. I highly suspect the chip under there. Or, well, I'll tell you what, before we jump into other things, let's take a look at my Pokemon Yellow, because I don't know whether that crystal is meant to be on or not. So this is a different board layout, of course it is. And that's on, so let me see if I can get a Pokemon Red. Have we got any Pokemon Reds lying around anywhere, do you know? Oh, I've got one up there, I can see it. No, I definitely haven't been cheating on this Pokemon Red. Let's get rid of that X-Blast. So this is one of mine. And then we'll know if we're missing anything. No, so all the components are the same. So we are just dealing with potential bad chips. So I'll leave mine over there in a minute. And let's go back to the plan I had, which is to remove this chip. Something's telling me we're going to find... I might just remove both. Yeah, let's just remove both and have a look. We could remove... Let's remove everything. I'm going to put my new battery on as well. Yeah, I think there's our issue. Let's get the other chip off anyway. Probably would have been easier to put on one of these. Like that. So the board doesn't float around when I'm trying to get stuff off. Got a feeling that is definitely lead-free solder that's been used there. So this chip's already had. Yeah, something's weird about this chip, it does not want to come off. Yeah, look at that, it's like, it doesn't want to come off. That is completely molten, and look, this has been reattached. That's why. So we've got this, but something very strange going on with these connections here. So I think the customer's probably already attempted a trace repair here, which looks like it's either a trace repair or a bad trace anyway, so that needs to come off. So we can redo that. So let's just sever him. That's not a trace we want to use. And then let's get this off with an iron, because something's it's rotted here completely. Basically, I think what's happened there is this is all rotted, and the traces are sticking to the legs and not letting the chip lift up. So that's two issues we've got really, just basically rotten board. Let's see if we can clean this up and see how much damage there is. Get rid of any partially attached traces like this. There's no point in them being on. That clearly goes there, but there's no point in it being on there. And this one clearly goes to the bottom. So the left goes to the bottom, the right goes to the top, and that trace is also damaged, but can only go to one place. So I'd say, looking at this, even though it's recoverable, bear in mind this is a £6 service, so it's going to be way outside of feasibility. We've got bad trace here, possibly bad trace there. These two are definitely bad though, and they are under chips, so we're going to have to wire around. We've got bad trace here, here. This is black, so this is going to be bad there as well, more than likely, even though it's there. That's probably suspect for all of them. And then the rest is fine, but the fact we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one's really like not worth repairing, basically, because we've got, that'll probably take 15-20 minutes. It's probably another £10-15 of labour on top of what he's paid for, and then the chips might not work as well. So I'd probably recommend at this stage either has a board swap would be quicker, but we haven't made this board yet, so you can get I normally remake them, but you can also buy them if I haven't made them yet. Here's a new PCB, like one of these we can just swap out, which obviously isn't an option at the minute because I don't have one, or extra labour. But you can buy Pokemon Red for, I think, £20 now anyway. I don't think Pokemon Red's that expensive, so I'll probably move this one out of the way for now and see if the customer wants to actually carry on, because like I say, we could fix them traces and still end up with chip issues as well, but the state of this board already, I'd probably recommend that he does a board swap, if anything, and then just get him a price for doing that. It'll probably be about £20 more for a board swap. All you've got to do is swap these chips out, solder them on, and buy the board. Whereas repairing traces, we'd have to run jumpers from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, just more time than I think it's worth at the minute. But it's certainly fixable though, if there's no chip damage. So let's just move him out for now, and I'll see what the customer wants to do with that one. And it all depends if it's a sentimental chip or not. It might be like, you know, his own games he wants to get working, and it might just be one that he doesn't feel is worth investing in. So that one's out the way. And then the last one was Rugrats for this customer anyway. So we have, this one was, I can't remember what this one was, just again, rotten and not quite booting. So straight away I'm drawn to this bit here. So let's zoom, oh, we already zoomed in. Yeah, I zoomed in as much. That one looks a bit sus. In fact, they all look sus. If you look at that dark green around the via, that's the rot starting. So all 4 of these look a bit sus. Every one of these looks sus. Every one of these looks sus. See the green inside. So, and then green here, green here. I think this has got more trace damage than the other. Oh yeah, all these are gone. So to be honest, what I'll probably do, this one is definitely way beyond economical repair for just the labour time, basically. If this was a game worth £100, yes, we'd do it. But again, Rugrats, I've probably got a copy I can give him out of my random collection. So I'm going to, yeah, it's just all here basically. There's like 10 plus traces there, more here. It's labour time. You're going to be 30-40 minutes into fixing this one, which is way above the £6. So let's put him back. Let's use the labour he's paid for this game, I think, to fix his Pokemon Red, or to have a go at fixing his Red. And then we'll just tell him that we've, you know, done the Pokemons, and we've used the labour from the Rugrats game on the Pokemon, and then we'll see what he wants to do with that Pokemon game. So, where do we start? You can run traces under here, but we'll tend to just, I think, run them from the other side and loop them around. Now, when they go in the shell, we haven't really got any space to run it there, but we have got space to run it up this side here. So it's going to be a long loop to go around and up, or we can run traces straight from here and have them coming out, which is a bit neater, but the chip's going to sit a bit up, so we're just going to have to hand solder it. So I think we'll go with enamel wire on the top, and we'll then just sit the chip a little bit proud, is what we'll do. And then hopefully that's all it's going to be. So we have this pin, which we can tack onto the via, hopefully. There we go. We'll get some enamel wire on that. And we can tack that onto there. And we'll run him. Oh, yes, that's now probably going to need maybe a slight bit of grinding to be able to solder to it. Let's try once more. Yep, that's solid. So I'm going to leave him out here for now. So that's that leg this one's definitely going to need some exposing. Oh, that's the one that I think is actually okay. Just double check. Yeah, that one's okay. Thought he looked like it was going to be bad. So then this one oh, actually, this one goes to the bottom. You can see the trace, and this one goes to the top there. So let's expose the bottom one. So. We're going to the bottom one on this one, so tap that there. That, and then the other one we can do after because it's outside, so we don't really need to do that one. So actually that's not too bad. Let's just check all these other pins before we put this chip back down. He says, stabbing himself and dropping his phone. Get this out. So this one, in fact both ways. So that's all underneath done. Yeah, so under there is now all good once we do them two. This one we checked, yeah, and this one needs to be restored to the only other pin that's missing. Let's chuck that back down. We can actually put this down as well. That one's clearly okay. And this one, it's just triple chips on that are okay. There's no trace damage on them. Hey, afternoon. Just fixing up some Game Boy games first, and then we'll jump onto a Neo Geo. Well, we'll start. I don't know whether we'll finish him, but we'll jump onto it. This will now put back down. I should probably reflow them solder pads. They're the originals. And then the other one, let's just check what was going on with this one, because this one also looks quite quite dodgy. Oh, it's hot still. So while that's cooling, let's just check all these pins. Now, again, these aren't technically going to be checking going through to the other side, but usually if a V is bad, testing one side, it'll still be disconnected. But if we still have issues, at least we know it won't be under the chip. It could be potentially a V. Like this one's the most dicey. I mean, this might be connected, but connected there, and then yeah, this V is long since gone. So, I mean, that I don't like anyway. So, 2 up over here. Needs going back. Let's carry on checking these a minute. I think we did actually, don't we? Checked all them. Yeah, it's this one is also gone. So we'll come back to him in a minute. Oh, he's there. Next one. He's fine. Yeah. I think we've done these, have we? Yeah, so we've also got this one bad then. Let's see where he goes, and that should be all the traces. So center one pretty much on his own goes up to dots. This will be 2 dots, one will end up on the right side when we flip. So it goes to here then, I'd say, which goes up to here. So 2 dots is going to end up on the right when we flip again. Where's that hole? Under the chip, of course it is. So it goes to the chip we've just put down. If I've got that one right. So big row, 2 on their own, 1 on its own. Big row, 2, 1. Oh, so it's actually this one. It's this sphere. So this actually goes across to here then. So the one on the left by the big hole. So it actually goes to here. So that means we just need to jump, instead of this wire, we need to jump here to here, which is handy. And we can check. There's the probes. Just to confirm, we definitely don't have continuity. You can see that's missing, so let's jump at that before we forget, and then this chip can go down as well. Hey, welcome in. Yeah, it was good. So just literally got back a few hours ago. So cracking on with some work now. Rusty's already passed out. He's gone between every bed he's got in the house already. So I missed each one, I think. So this one going onto here. Ah, yeah, I've seen your message. I'll listen to that after I've finished on this later when I sit down. So that's that little one we stored. So let's put, I'm going to just, with us having floating wires, I'm just going to hand solder these down. I don't really want to be hot airing these now we've got floating wires around, so let's just get flux on the go and drag solder these instead. In. So what does it do for drag solder? Plenty of solder on your iron, and as the name suggests, drag to solder. So that's them. And then this side, similar thing. We've tapped the top one, so plenty of solder. And just drag down. And sometimes people just won't leave heat on long enough, or they'll be too afraid to get the iron all over the pins because of joining them and bridging them. You really want to make sure you get that on. Yeah, so what was that a component then, or was that just literally random gunk? Because that was, I've never seen anything like that before. Like, I can only presume that was random blobs of wire trying to join places. Oh, it was an actual fuse. Yeah, so we weren't far off guessing, right? We presumed it was to, I think we said we presumed it was to fix the trace of some kind, didn't we? But yeah, that was definitely a dodgy one. I haven't actually worked on a Mega CD in a while, to be honest. We used to get loads in. We've probably got some in. Can't see one though, to be honest, but oh yeah, you can see some bad attempts sometimes when you see where people get to. I think they just start, get into trouble, and then just keep going. I think sometimes they just resort to the fact they've already done damage and just seem to keep going. Fuses, I don't think we stock them online, but I've got some. I've got a 2 and 3 amp axial fuses, like in a tub behind me that we used to sell. So I can chuck one of them in. Maybe just leave a note on any order. Right, so this one is, let's get these lined up. That one's going to there, that one's still there, and then we've got one other trace here. So this isn't too bad. We've also got the trace on here we need to remove first. It kind of stuck to the chip. Maybe it's even that's like fused to the chip. There we go. So flip that over maybe. Nope, it's the wrong way. I think it's the wrong way. Goes on there, and yeah, that one's onto that leg. Can't really go wrong with this, I don't think. I'm gonna tap that one and go onto here. Yeah, this is 3 games from a customer that's tried to fix them. I don't know whether they're his own, but he's like changed the battery and tried to fix them. They've had water damage, so it didn't look too bad, to be honest, on the work itself. This is mainly a rotted board for the most part. Well, I think they've all been rot. We've got a Pokemon Silver I've fixed, and then we've got a red, which is this one, which I was going to leave because it's not worth that much, and there's like, as you can see, like 5 traces broke, but I've opened up his Rugrats game after, and that's even worse. So he's paid enough with leaving the Rugrats game to then at least try to get the Pokemon Red up and running, which is what we're doing. And then I'll just contact him about the Rugrats game and say we've used the time on this one to try and game 2 out of the 3 games going, I guess, for the price, and whether he wants to pay more to attempt to get the Rugrats one or not. But there's obviously not enough in the pot to do all 3 for what he's paid for how much trace damage there is on all 3. So this is where it will get a little bit tricky, because we're sitting on top of them wires, which is why we're having to hand solder this side. And you kind of can't see because you've got no depth, being totally flat down. But this one then, well, there's a point. Where did that wire move now? I think that's this pad here, isn't it? So yeah, that's just a floating wire. So we'll, I think, just strip the wire with heat directly like that. There we go. that kind of naturally worked by mistake. And then trim the excess, and that looks pretty stealth there, you wouldn't even know. So you wouldn't know we just repaired under there. And then this one, similar thing. We just want to warm up the trace, or warm up the wire rather. There we go. And then once it comes off, it should tap to that wire, if it hasn't already. So I'll lift him up. Again, you can't really tell because of the angle of the camera, but to be honest, I can't tell. There we go. I suppose if we tilt it up and focused, give it a bit of depth, you can see. Well, you still can't even really see, but there's a wire there, my little wire that goes behind, and this one's got the wire there, that one. So that's the little wire left over there. There we go, you can see it that way. But he's soldered on either way, so we can just grab that bit and wiggle, or we can get scalpel on. There is a really cool microscope that I wanted, but we never brought because you can't see. Obviously, they can't advertise it well because it's one of them things they can't show off on a video. But it's like just it's even hard to explain. I have to search it up. Can you remember the name of that microscope? What we were going to get when Mark was there? No, those were like where you know what I mean, where you had like that vision thing. I think it was oh, who was it? I don't know. I'm going to find it. Let me finish this and I'll try and find it for you. But yeah, there's one I really wanted to buy, but I couldn't be bothered go driving over to test them, which I probably should, to be honest, because that's the only way you're going to know if they're any good. But you just look through them. You don't you just sit at this angle and look in, and it's a full, like you're looking into a television, basically. You're just like staring straight into what would ultimately just look like a TV. So for ergonomics and working, you're not doing this and bending your neck. You're just looking up, and like I'm looking at the TV, you'd be looking through a scope, which would be like really cool. And it's got video out, so we could use it on stream. So maybe try to get them sponsors. Freebie. It's worth a try though, but yeah, I'll see if I can find it in a minute. Right, so we've got one trace left to do from the outside, which is this one that's ripped. So let's clear him off. And then bear in mind, we could still have bad chips on this as well, is the other potential risk, but obviously we won't know that till we've done this work. Oh, that's the other thing that we haven't announced yet. That shipped today, I think. So we should be able to announce that to peeps in a few days, probably. So tap that on. There we go. And this time we will cut it short this end. You know what I think would be a good camera angle, actually? One that's like just got a slight angle coming in from almost like, you know, like this, but really zoomed in. You know, like an angle like this, but even more zoomed. Like I could probably repurpose this one. Like getting nice and close, almost like that's the default. In fact, no, we need this camera. I was going to say we could repurpose this side camera for that, but I think just like a really, almost like the top-down zoomy, like this, nice and sharp, but from the side to give a bit of depth. No, it's a secret what's shipped at the minute. We'll be announcing it well, basically when it arrives. But no, it's not It's not the purples. They haven't. We're not far off. I think somebody just ordered a load more blues, and there's hardly any left. Actually, yeah. No, I was going to say okay, I'd want probably Blackmagic cameras if I was going to do another side camera. You don't want to degrade. I was going to say I've got them ObSpot cameras still that we used to have that now are sitting in a cupboard. Actually, one still was stuck where it was up there, the face cam thing. But I was going to say we could reuse. There we go. That's not the nicest of positions. No, I've done that. There. Yeah, I was going to say we could reuse this side camera, but it's already used. Like we need it really to have like a side view, so we don't really want, like when we zoom out and we want stuff on the desk here, we kind of need this view because it has the universal view, isn't it? So oh yeah, see, we could have it's getting Rusty back in this room. He's loves the kitchen at the minute, but he's got to put him a carpet in here, and then he's barely been in since. Yeah, Pochettino's, that's definitely it. Right then, what do we reckon? Pokemon Red gonna work? I think we've done everything we were going to on it. If it works, it needs a battery, but let's see. I reckon, I don't know, it's 50-50. I reckon that chip could be bad. Build the suspense and clean my desk first. Oh yeah, the Emerald's ridiculous. It's we used to sell them in the store when we had a physical store, and we'd buy them, service them, and then sell them in store. And we'd buy them for like, I don't know, £80 at the time, boxed with all the manuals. You're only going back a few years. And then by the time we'd brought them, boxed them, and put them on the shelf, we used to have people coming in saying, you do know you need to put the price up, they're like worth 120, and then we'd sell them, buy another one for 120, and then we'd sell it for 140, and I think we were selling them for 160 when we closed the store. But I think that's about where they're still sitting, unless I'm wrong. Oh, you're just bigging up that long holiday, are you, again? Let's see if this Pokemon Red works. Oh, hang on. Is that my Pokemon Red that's in? No, it's customers. I was going to say that'd be cheated. My Pokemon Red's there. This is the customers. So we've got at least Nintendo. Oh, I was about to say no, but yeah, there we go. Zoom out. Focus, maybe? There we go. Oh, I've got to fix this volume wheel on there. Emerald, I think it just got known as the best one to play. Like, I'm literally playing it at the minute, so I never played Emerald. I've never gone through it. That's them two done. So yeah, it just must be known as the best. So I'm probably only 3 hours in at the minute. I haven't played much of it, but I must say it is good. But I still think, to me, yellow, red, and blue, gold and silver, that era, like Gen 1 of them, I still prefer, just because that's what I actually played as a kid. That's mine. So let's keep that one. out the way. Let's just put all these back on. So that's them done. I've got one more to do in a second, which is this thing. That's them. Move them out the way. That's just there. Just needs a screw in. That just needs a battery and it can go. So basically, red with a battery, and then it can go. I'll just tell them about that Rugrats one. Where's the paperwork? There. Is this the HDMI one? Yeah. That's mine. Back in my cheat device. In fact, I've probably been cheating. The fact that this is on with a cheat card in. Let's see what I was up to. I know I fixed this because I used to use these as a kid as well. The little. This is probably what got me into coding, to be honest. Little cheat devices for the Game Boy games. And you just use some basic logic for like ifs and else's, higher than, lower than, and you basically play the game and try to isolate single characters that you're effectively just altering the ROM of the game with. See if I can remember how to use it. So start game. We'll soon know if my game's got a load of Muse and Master Balls in the game. Oh yeah, continue. Half an hour. Maybe I haven't been cheating yet. Pokeballs 10. Okay, let's cheat then. So activate. See if I can remember this. So this is how you do it if you're ever interested. This is just we sell these. This is a custom printed Sugar Rush shell. So what you can do, if you're trying to say we're trying to I don't know, get infinite Pokeballs in the first entry. What you can do is say known value 0 1 0. Ooh, no, 0 1 0, and then OK, and then it's going to analyze the working RAM of the entire Game Boy at the minute. It's going to say there's way too many things with value of 10. So there you go. There's 104 things in RAM with that value. So now we're going to walk around, do things, and the idea is you want to edit the RAM so that anything that could have been 10 no longer is. So there's many things in memory that can. So let's just pretty much start by just walking around, and then we'll tap the button on the top here again to activate. We're going to say known value, and it's still 10, and that'll just eliminate anything that's already going to change, the time, the footsteps, anything like that. That'll limit it down already. So it's 87. We don't want to view them, so we'll press B. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just chuck one of these. So chuck one, and now we're going to force this to be 9. And now without changing anything else, I'm going to tap the button and tell it it's now 9. And this will probably rapidly lower it down. And then let's see what we get here. We got any sound? So there's only 2 now. So let's still press B. Let's get this perfect. And then if I now chuck another one and tap it, and then if we put 8 now, you can guarantee there's only going to be one place in RAM where that value now is. And then what we've done is effectively hacked the first menu entry of, oh no, there's still 2. Okay, so there might be 2 locked in that are not going to change. So let's just press OK to view them, or start rather. And what we can do is we can enable one or the other, or we can change them. So they're the 2 RAM entries now. So we see down here, start exits, which we don't want to do yet. And what's it going to say? A, is that bouncing? Well, that's really hard to see. A toggles the value. So A to go in. That's now enabled that to be 8. So what that should mean is if it's this one, and we press start to exit, and we try to toss, if that's the right value, this will stay as 8. So it's not that value. So tap to get back in. And then we want to edit activation codes. So it's not that value actually, so we need to get back to... oh, I've messed this up now. Few possibilities. Let's hope they're still in there. There we go. So this has got to be the one you'd think, number 2. So if we say number 2, press start to get out, edit activation code, say, and now let's edit this to 18. And if that's right, then we should now have 18 Pokeballs, basically. So return to game, and we might have to go in and out. Oh, there you go, 24. So what we did was, volume wheel, 18 will be hex. So it'll be a hexadecimal value, and 18 will be 24. And now if we toss, say, 4 of them, you're going to have infinite now Pokeballs. So you still got 24. So that's pretty much how you kind of can cheat on the cheat cards, and then you can do way more stuff than that to find different Pokemon and all sorts. So you can obviously get Mew doing that. This is how I used to do it as a kid, with no real guides. It was pretty much just I figured it out myself by doing exactly what I've just shown you there, just trial and error. So this one is, oh, this actually got the game loading. Oh, we haven't been on this yet. So this is another customer with, yeah, glitchy games. This one might just need a clean, but let's just see what this is. And doesn't look too bad. Nothing standing out straight away. The only thing is, oh yeah, there. So there you go, similar to the other one. So all we'll do for this is, if you see anything that's dodgy, it looks like somebody's had a go maybe at this as well. I don't know, that's just a go or just worn down. I think they've had, what they've had is damage here, and they've cleaned these pins. That's why they're quite clean. But they've not noticed that there's grime there. So you've probably want to lift that chip off maybe. You definitely got either a broken trace here, so from this going to that via or past. This goes through 2 breaks. These are more than likely not, but before we just guess, you can just get your sanding pad, and I'm going to try and just gently sand. And again, if it's good copper, the gentle sand will only take off the silk screen. It won't eat through the copper for a good while, so you don't have to worry too much about doing that. And if it's that weak it doesn't survive a basic sand, then it needs repairing anyway. So they actually look okay, to be honest. Oh no, that bit there, see that? So this is likely going to be the only problem on this board. That's eaten through completely. These, although they're pitted, haven't eaten through, and neither is that. Now it's clean, so almost guarantee it's this one pad, and that's actually that's that small of a gap. I can probably blob solder over there, but we don't want to get solder on here if we can help it. So let's cover that with just that to stop some solder, and then we should be able to just, maybe, if I'm lucky, just blob solder on. I don't know whether we're going to need a little bit of wire or just a solder ball. We'll soon find out. I've got a feeling. Yeah, it just needs a little bit of wire, just a bridge. So a tiny bit of wire, go over there. And I think that's got it. Let's see. Now we can go from here to here. Yeah, there we go. Right the way up. So that's all restored. Hopefully that's the only... Ow, stab myself again. That's the only pin trace damage, I'd hope. I didn't actually check if this customer's paid for repair or a new battery, to be honest. I'll have to check that after. Oh yeah, I forgot they did them on PlayStation. I've actually got the PlayStation one in it. It's like in a metal tin, isn't it, I think? There's a zoomed in more. There we go. Right, so Donkey Kong Land. There we go. Oh, never got that far before. I was going to say, there we go. Celebrating. Yay, there we go. So it did work. So that's all of them fixed, basically, except the Rugrats, which obviously they can pay for more labour if they want that fixed, but that one's probably, I'd say that's the worst of all of them. Yeah, all good. Right, cool. I'll pass that over to get a battery if needed. And that's them out of the way. Same thing, I'll just check it was actually paid for a battery and then drop a battery on it. So, Neo Geo. Do you remember Neo Geo going down? Oh, it's this thing in it where I sent it loose, yeah. In a grease dustbuster show. Hey, afternoon. No, we've just been doing some. Let me get that off the screen. Got customers' details, not customers' details, but customers' bits on there. Just been doing some battery. Well, not battery swaps. This battery swaps, but repairing Pokemon games on the Game Boys, and now we're just about to start a Game Boy, the Game Boy, Jesus, Neo Geo, which is like nearly 2 months old. So hopefully we can get it done in one go. Oh yeah, the serial port's obviously how the PSIO now works as well. Which all these years later, they knew it back then, and then now they've only just figured out how to use it in modern day. This one requires diagnostics. PCB board on its own. The BIOS chip is missing. BIOS chip missing and mod gone wrong, and some damage to chips. Okay, so basically we need to try to get it working by the sounds of it. Backlog, yes and no. We've got, similar to before, some stuff like is what we're about work on is like 2 months old, and then other stuff is only 20 days old. So it's just some of the old stuff is really old, and then some of the stuff in the middle's like prestige builds, which get priority over send-ins. So they're like a bit more, they're expected to ship a lot quicker than repairs. So basically, if we get a pre-built console that's 10 days old, that's more priority than a month-old send-in, basically. So send-ins are pretty far behind for some, and then once we've caught up, it'll jump quite far forward. So we should be back up to date in a few more weeks, hopefully, I'd say. Well, back to like the normal lead time. Have you got Neo Geo 5? Do you know what version it is? Like 3.5 or 3.6 or whatever? Oh yeah, literally missing a BIOS. Geo BIOS again, have we? Are they down there? Can you grab them? Is that a maybe? That was a nearly no-go. Get yourself and have a go and wait. Haven't even got one of our cables either. New Geo cable. Use this shitty one instead. New Master System USB kit like ours. No, I was just curious, more so in terms of what version you'd got. If you place an order from us, obviously you've been away, so everything will go Monday. If you've got an order outstanding, I can chuck you that fuse in.
What's the number?
1024. And if you see any Neo Geo clean RGBs, you know the cables, the blue ones.
Yeah.
Just grab us a few of them if you can see them.
Yeah.
What am I after? Sockets, that's what I was after. Yeah, just message us your order number then, and I'll put a note on after. Like when I read your message, I'll add a note to chuck you that a couple of them fuses in. So let's get a socket ready. There we go. And let's take a look at what's gone wrong, which I can see without even zooming in. Let's just put that on top. Yeah, this is the problem we've got here. So it's similar, it's like a full day of trace repair today. Let's get started then. So that's fine, that's gone. But if you notice here how there's clearly, like there's nothing there, basically. That's, I don't know, it's obvious, but there's like silver looking stuff. That's where the copper and gold have been plated, and you can see the via. Same as all these, you've got vias. This is just pre-preg board, so there's nothing there. But the fact there's no traces running anywhere, that pin will be on the other side, so we're not fussed. We'll look at that on the other side, basically. Same with that. There's an via there, but there's no traces, so it's not going to go anywhere. These two you want to check that they haven't been damaged. So I can see this one being fun somehow. Jeez, I've got loads of stuff on my phone. Voicemails, missed calls, messages. 2-second voicemail, it's definitely spam. I'm now live on YouTube, yes I know. Do the rest of them after. So that one was good. This one goes to here. That's good. This one, to be honest, we're probably best checking all the traces because it's had some major work done. So these two will be the other side. Could be. That one, I thought we'd already checked that one. No, it's not testing. Oh, yeah. Oh, because it's there, that's right. Okay. There. That one there. There's that one. Wow, I've got dry eyes as well. Lots of staring today, I think. It goes to there. There. Okay, so it's not at the minute looking that bad. I was a bit more fearful there was a hell of a lot of broken traces, but let me quickly do that. 55317. 317, see if it's been printed. Oh, is that a brand new one? Hasn't even been fetched yet. Let's fetch it in. Let's see. Jesus, some bloody sales coming in. Yeah, that new one. Got it. Oh, I'm gone. I thought it was Big Brother. Early order that, just putting that on. Oh, cool. So you just tell me I can mix them two together. Cool. Yeah, our system, if you order two as well, and we haven't printed them yet, because it's the software I've written, it'll auto combine them in it if everything matches. Big Bros, I just need to know your order number to chuck the fuses in. Right, so last one at the bottom. Look, yeah, that one's definitely missing. See, you saw me say it doesn't look too bad, and then you're killing me thunder now. It's now I've glanced over there, I can see some problems. Let me add a note to that. I'll put 2 amp and 3 amp fuses because I've got both axials. That'll do. Right, so I think we got up to like there. This one looks blown out completely. Of course it is. And then this one down here will probably go down here, but yeah, the fact it's beeping, it does so. Oh, there's lots. Where do we start? So we've got, well, I say there's lots. On the top so far, there's only that one. These two are underneath. That one, actually, I think we checked this, but that's obviously been caught by an iron. But it is going, actually, I don't think we have checked that. That's going all the way down here somewhere. Yep, so. Yes, that one is fine. Right, so him. I mean, he's a fairly easy fix. Maybe, I'll tell you what I'll do for this one. I will put this on there. And if we just leave the wire floating, it'll kind of give me a hint I was meant to do something later when I forget. That's what I'm thinking. And then we can see where the trace goes, so it's not like it's even a confusing thing of, you know, where to go. We know exactly where it will go. There. Okay, use my real eyes, not the screen, so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. Cutters. So that's there. So if we leave him there, we kind of can't miss that, I don't think. Let's carry on. That one's fine, and then, oh, I was going to say, what the hell's that? It's sunshine. It's the sun setting. It's there. Cool. So there's actually one there, two probably the other side. May or may not be bad. Other side, other side. That's fine. So we need to just remember to check the other side fully, as all it is. But I don't know, we're not actually doing too bad here. I think we're dodging bullets at the minute. And that's presuming this system, oh, that's missing completely. But is that meant to be, I don't know if that's meant to be a trace. I'm going to have to get that under the scope because I can't really tell if that's even meant to be. Okay. Oh, yes, that's If I could turn that, where are you going? There. So yeah, that's clearly meant to have been a trace going to the pad that's missing. So that's that one that we need to recover, which for that we will, where are we? That one there, I'm going to probably just tack, because this is going to sit on quite high, I'm going to tack one on and bring it out, and you guys can remember. I'm going to rely on you guys to remember all of this. Yeah, I could actually feed through some of them. I'm going to tack that up. I'm going to fish a wire through again. I'm just going to kind of leave hints at what I'm doing by having wires hanging out where roughly they need to go. And then I'll probably ask you guys where everything goes at the end if I don't remember. So this is a team effort. There we go. So that one's there. This one will come out, and I'm going to leave him nice and long. Don't rely on us on Friday. Yeah, don't rely on me on a Friday. Especially when I've been away. Unless it's like come straight back and just started working a bit. I literally can't remember how we ended up here. Have we tested all these across here? Yeah, we have, haven't we? So we've come all the way along. So yeah, I've literally been back a few hours and just pretty much come in, unpacked, and jumped on stream to get going. Right, so he's for that one. This one, still there, good. That one's missing again, but those two are okay. Actually, yeah, those two are okay. So same again on this one. We need a little fish wire. And I've fixed the UV printer. I'll come back and fix that first. Of course, I've got spares for everything on the UV printer for the custom shell. So that shell I showed off at the start, the Sugar Rush, I need to really try and advertise them because we've just dropped off on sales. We pretty much don't sell anything now UV printed, but I'm building a website so people can do it without needing Photoshop and stuff. But I haven't finished the site yet. Too busy. Oh yeah, you know that game on the last stream, the Japanese game. Of course, I stayed up all night till 4 in the morning to translate it, didn't I? And nobody else in the world's ever translated that game because, as I found out, there was some absolutely ridiculous encryption on it. And I mean ridiculous. So if you go into the Discord and went to Retro 6 Japan in that channel, absolutely crazy. I was like, oh, I don't know why I even did it. Busy as hell. I was about to go away in a few days. Started it at 10 p.m. Stayed up till 4 in the morning, and then went bed at 4, watched some Red Dwarf, woke back up at 7 and carried on. But yeah, we cracked the game. So it's now fully decrypted. I've extracted all the Japanese text. We've got all of our native Japanese speakers and the server now translating it, and then I'm going to edit the dialogue service, change it to English, and repatch the game. It's meant to be easy to do stuff like that. I haven't done anything like that. I don't think I've ever done a translation, but I've actually done a general hacking and reverse engineering and stuff. Much more when I was a kid, really. But it kind of comes back to you. So I started like, oh, this will be nice and quick. Went to figure out where the language stuff was. I had to first figure out how the Game Gear games are fully compiled, which I kind of know because I'm making that Game Gear Studio. So I've started to get the knowledge of how stuff goes together. Because I've had to obviously compile Game Gear Studio games. But then in order to crack that game, I've had to learn a lot more than that. So I figured out how all the VRAM was stored and general Z80 assembly stuff, refreshing my memory. Then looked for the translation stuff. The problem with Japanese is I don't speak it, and if you encrypt Japanese, it turns out it still produces Japanese text if you don't decrypt it. It just doesn't make sense, which is strange. So you can, like in English, it'd be pretty obvious you hadn't translated something. Whereas that one's missing as well, and going down to there. In Japanese, you can translate it and it works. Yeah, all of them are dead, all 4, wicked. And going back to where I've been just been It's called Clumber Park, just below Yorkish area, I think it is. Yeah, like M1 and then somewhere up there. Just chilling with Rusty on a sofa for a week, just writing code, but just dead relaxed. I only went a couple of, well, to be honest, I bet I only went like 6 weeks ago. But just love it, dead relaxing. So yeah, I basically went to translate this game, ended up down a ridiculous rabbit hole, and it turns out it's not only got one layer of encryption or compression in a sense. There's a mixture of compressions and encryptions in a way. It's actually got 3 levels, which I don't think I've ever seen a game in the 80s use that. And then on top of that, they then also encrypted other data, like pointless stuff like the level they went to encrypt dialogue. At first, we thought it was to save memory because it kind of makes sense that it could be to compress memory because it's basically a compression algorithm. The first layer is. So we're like, oh yeah, it's just compression. So I looked for the compression stuff, and I think this is where other people that tried to translate the game got to. Trace repairs, yeah, I'm pretty much that's what I'm planning on with this one, going to there. So I think that I got so far with the compression stuff, and because it follows all the same patterns as that compression, it kind of leads you down this false sense of security, which is why I would say no, I'd say hint at the fact that the developer that wrote it clearly knew what they were doing, and I'm sure were trolling. I think they were bored in the job, basically, and they just put the most ridiculous layers upon layers of encoding the dialogue. And then once I'd figured out it was the compression, it then also had a algorithm on top of it shifting every single dialogue in the game by encrypting it from the previous dialogue. So what that basically meant is that if you corrupted any part, that's why I say it's actually a perfect game for testing the quality of your console. If you corrupt a single bit in a single dialogue out of the 600, I think it's 350 odd dialogues in that game, they all rely on the previous one. So every message from, say, the 4th dialogue relies on the 3rd, the 2nd, and the 1st dialogue to be correct and each encrypted, which is just absolutely ridiculous to think of, but that's how it is. I've fully reversed engineered it now and extracted it all, and that is 100% how it works. So it's like there's no question now I've fully cracked it, but with that, if you don't know how sort of the compressions and encryptions work, it won't really make much sense, but just take it from me, it was absolutely ridiculously over-engineered and over-skilled for whoever did that to that game. So it was a fun challenge in one way, because I was expecting it to just be a quick thing, and then I ended up kind of enjoying it, and everybody was joining in on the server as well to see me work through it. And then the fun part was when we actually extracted the visuals. Like I got the VRAM decrypted because even the pictures of the characters were encrypted. So the proof that we decrypted it right was when I actually saw the visuals of it being real, if you know what I mean, like the actual visuals in game. Let me see if I've got it here. Yeah, tools, and I'll probably open source it. Pretty sure I will. Yeah, so here is, let me close the orders down a minute, minimize that Facebook thing, show my PC screen. So this is all my stuff, and here, for example, is, let's open on the wrong screen. This was my first confirmation I definitely decrypted something, because we got this character clean out. But even say for example, the characters had come through with wrong colours, and they were all jumbled. I don't think I've kept any of the jumbled stuff, but I took it as far as to fully extract every character from the game, link them in code to the Japanese names, and translate them to English as well. So these are all the players in that game without playing them. And of course, my first goal, as it should be, is Rusty's getting injected into the game. So he's going to be in the game. And yeah, I haven't kept any of the corruptions. But if you looked in the Discord in RetroSec Japan, you'd see the whole process. It was pretty cool. I enjoyed it anyway. It was refreshing to have a challenge for once. I think you get a bit a bit bored sometimes if you can't figure out stuff. That was like always my biggest problem. If I can't find a challenge, you kind of get bored, because I thrive on challenges. I love them. I love it when I can't figure something out, basically. That's like my ideal. Because then it's so rewarding when you do finally figure something out. Oh yeah, every game will be different. You can't realistically just patch a game. I'll basically write a code so you can apply the patch to the ROM, because I can't distribute the original ROM because of clear piracy. But all I'll do is do a diff and make a patch for it so you can patch it. But every game would need cracking separately. Right, so these all need... I maybe should screenshot this, because when we put the socket down, he's coming down and connecting to there. Did we miss that one? No, that was good. He's coming down, connecting to there, so that's okay. And we've obviously got to move these out of the way to put the socket in. He's coming down, connected there and there, but you can see the damage. Same with this one. He's going to there and there, there and there. So all them 1, 2, 3, 4 are double connections to remake. This one's a single. Where's you come from? Random hair. I thought there was something over here. I know that was on the underside. So that's all the top side, actually. So it's all the damage on this side is focused here. So maybe I'll screenshot that. Yeah, clean hair mod. Where's my cursor? So screenshot that. Preview. Couldn't apply a patch file to the ROM on the cart. No, it needs a whole new compilation, because why is this not making a new file? Basically, because this has got encryption in, it means that if I change even one thing in the dialogue, the whole game needs re-encrypting. And then when you load up the game, the minute the first dialogue starts, that's when all the decryption starts. So you need to patch the actual ROM. Whether you can do it on the fly before it loads into memory, I'm not sure. But ultimately, it will be a completely different executable. And I'll also be remaking the dialogue script. So I've had to fully disassemble it into Z80 assembly. I'm going to have to remake the dialogue system in the game. So almost like making the game in a way. I'm going to have to patch the functions and extend it, because English text takes up more room than Japanese. So the dialogues that show, you can't just replace characters in them. I need to literally re-engineer the game almost. Yeah, that's basically it. You could do it on PC, or you could write some hardware that does it. Yeah, same idea, as long as it understands the concept rather. Right, so we'll put the socket in this side, or shall we try the other side? No, let's go the other side first, and let's see the whole extent of this damage, just in case it makes any difference to what we're doing. Right, you're going all the way over here. Gosh, you're miles away. Oh, really? Right, I'm just gonna go to a random point on the trace and scrape through. I'm not going all the way over there. That's crazy. So gently go through the silk screen enough to probe, and that looks broken, unless it's this one. It's that one. There we go. So this one will be the one above that. Some of them put Japanese cart in a console, but have it translated using a patch file. I mean, I can write you, as silly as it sounds, I could write you a Game Gear game that you load up and select the original ROM and a patch, and then it patches it for you on the fly, because obviously I've written all the original code anyway. But yeah, don't add to my side quests, they're already full enough. That's all good. These, yeah, I mean, these look good, but I like to just be sure. Yeah. He's the other side, so we don't worry about him. Yeah, I know what it is. When I'm staring at the screen for trace repair, I don't blink. That's why my eyes are so dry. Though I've only just looked over here. Like major burn. That looks like that chip I took off with the battery acid leaking. I'm surprised we haven't had more damage. I'm like, not that I want more damage, but I'm surprised we haven't had more damage. Right, that one then I can only presume. Third one over is already a trace on this side. No. So it's the third pin on the Neo Geo. If anyone want to look that up. The Neo Geo BIOS, top right, third pin down. Doesn't look like it goes anywhere. So I'm presuming it's a no connect. And then the other ones are blown out, them two, which are power. So actually the top two, I presume these go nowhere. The top right, the 2 pins down, both I presume go nowhere because I can't see them going anywhere, basically, if anybody wants to do the legwork for me. That one is fine, it's the other side, it's the big fat trace, so we don't need to do anything with him, other than we've got to make sure the solder actually goes through and solders on these points. He's fine. What pin it'll be is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 20, 40, 39 and 38 it'll be. And I'm guessing the I think it is. Yeah, 39 and 38. Flip that around. This one. I'll go on to these. Yeah, second one in actually. Am I checking the wrong one? There we go. 38 is no connect, 39 is 5 volts. I mean, 39 on here. Ooh, that looks a bit dicey, but I think we've checked him. We must have checked him because we checked that. So he is fine, even though he looks bad. Yeah, that's... Yeah, it's definitely nothing on 39. Like, not on this board anyway. Okay, there's nowhere. Like, there's nothing that side. Unless this is a 4-layer board. Now I can see through it. No, there's definitely nothing there on this board. Oh, no, there is a... No, it isn't. It's a 2-layer board. So there's physically no trace there. I'll just double check. And then... Where are we? Pin 1, 2, 3. Pin 4 down. 1, 2, 3, 4 goes there. If you look on 27C1024, look at the pin out for that chip. That'll tell us what the pins are. Where's it gone? There. So that one was fine. Oh, for God's sake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 pins in a row. After the third one are all on this side. So 7 pins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, thick trace. So all of them are top side, that's there, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So all the others, 9 from this end, have nothing the other side, which is right, because, oh, that shit, we've got to repair that one as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so they're all this side. Cool. Pins, no time, NGM. That'll be not GM. I don't know what that is. NGM. God knows. Oh, PGM. Yes, that's all. Hang on, PGM for the BIOS. I should know what that is, but I don't. Either way, I don't think it's connected because there's a note there. Pretty sure there isn't. So we're not too bad. I mean, it's not good, but it's not terrible. So he's got to go there. So there's nothing on the underside to repair. All these on the top side need repairing, and we need to do this one. So let's put a single pad on here, which is there. Now I might have to... Normally you can just... There you go. scrape it with your iron slightly, and the heat opens up the via for you. And then this one will go into there. And this is here. So we can't really miss that one because you can see that one where it's going. And all the others we have a screenshot for, so let's try and remember this in one go before we put it down, so it's kind of fresh in our memory. Nothing on the underside. All these are good. All of them are good on the underside. So we've got one here. That one's coming through. That one's coming through. That one is. That one is. That one is. So literally in order, we've got 1 pin, 2 pin, 3 pin, 4 pin. 5 pins all in order are all ripped. And it misses one. And then we got another. So if we remember that pretty much, and we try to make these wires not touch each other, or move rather past each other, I should be able to... Oh, I haven't even checked if these holes are clear. Well, I want to find out. Does this fit through? Of course not. Why would it? It'll be that thing there. And that thing there. We need to clear the holes as well. So let's try old-fashioned way first, because there's hardly any solder. Let's try it. That one can be cleared. Hey, it worked. This one maybe. Nope. There we go. Is that gone blurry again, or my eyes going blurry? There we go. That one maybe. This is my eyes. Yeah, I'm not blinking when I'm looking for trace damage. I mustn't blink at all, and then literally my eyes start just completely drying up, and I can't see. That should be clear enough. So 5 pins. 5 pins in a row need fixing. And then we miss one, and there's a 6th one. So if we put them all to the right, or the left rather, geez, don't even know me right from left. Put them all to the left. Put this through. Oh, he's still over. And then hopefully this is all that's needed. That's it. And yep, that looks okay. Can I get some light on there to confirm? Yeah, so they're all through and to the right of each pin. This is going to be a little bit more tricky than I thought. Well, it won't be. I'm probably going to have to use the scope though. Definitely too tricky for dry eyes. Right, so flip this over, solder this in because we're quite happy with that being in now. Get this soldered in. And then trace repair under the scope. I'm going to give this plenty of time with the iron because the pads are quite worn and stuff, so I want to make sure every pin flows and kind of bubbles through the pins, because if we don't, it's not going to make contact to the other side. So I'll wait, and then it bubbles, and then it drops in. So you see that's on top, and then that little bubble and drop. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but there, that bubble. You almost like when you see a bubble, that's when some of the solder is flowing through the via, and that's what you want to see. And then you know it's gone right the way through. Yeah, see, I've got some of them. I just never use them, but they are like, would have been a good one to have in this instance. Yeah, I haven't. I might browse AliExpress tonight for some random stuff. I haven't had a browse in a while. What did I need? I kept complaining I needed something good. Oh, a grinder. The current grinder I've got's terrible, isn't it? Like I've got a super powered one and then one that can't cut through anything. I really need like a high quality one. Those 2 pins will check the other side. Well, we'll check all of it the other side under the scope anyway, to be honest, because we want to make sure it's flowed through the other side. Like this, for example, there's no via to help the solder flow, so you're just pretty much warming up the pad from the wrong side, and then it's bubbling like that, and then flowing through itself. So you should find out these end up the other side, but we'll still want to double check. There's a lot of these now on here. Have no pins this side at all, so flooding it with plenty of solder to help it flow through. Yeah, we've got a good, well, I've got one good grinder, but it's quite noisy and aggressive and vibrating and stuff, so it's like that's great for blasting through things. But then for like the fine grinding trace, well, silk screen off, the one I used to use, I think it's, to be honest, more so not necessarily the grinder itself, but the quality of the tips, I say. Well, the grinding things. Yeah, we've got the Dremel as well, like a proper Dremel, but that's again overpowered for. We've got definitely enough for powerful stuff. It's more the not so powerful that I need. Because what I did actually use the Dremel for the other day was cutting a rectangle in one of the shells, just using the spinning discs, and I forgot how good it actually is for like cutting holes, basically. But yeah, the grinding silk screen away is definitely what I need a gentle grinder for. And like you say, diamond tips are ideal, but the ones I brought, which were more than the grinder itself, ended up being like a thicker shaft than the actual thing that it fit in. So that's all from this side. Let's take a look at the other side now and see. I bet we can't even see on this camera because I think it's quite high up. I know we can just about. Oh, just on the verge there to see. Zoom in. Oh, we are already zoomed in. That is. Oh no, there we go. So you can see that one is filled. It hasn't flooded, whereas the next one has, but it is filled. That one, obviously, we need to fix onto there. Yeah, they're not flooded, but you don't want them to be flooded. There's the ones that go nowhere at the end. So they look all right. The others, I don't know whether I can get it on the camera angle because where even is it? Where the hell is my finger? There we go. I can't. Oh yeah, there you go. Okay, just about 10. Yeah, so those are all flown nice. That one's a bit excessive. There's a fat one right next to where we need to solder the other way. That had a bit too much, but it hasn't shorted anything. But and then that one has got next to none, but that's because there's no trace there. It's literally this via, so that won't matter. And these are all broken anyway, so we're fixing all them. Right, joy. So now we need to fix all these. Not looking forward to this bit. Get some Red Bull. And then get onto that. And oh, this is not going to be fun. I can't get the scope in to even see them angles. Oh, that's not good. Can I zoom up enough? Wow, just about. So I've got to get it there and then You guys have got to focus there. This is send you a Otto one on your Discord as the. Oh, nice. Actually, I'll probably get that. Right, what we're going to do with this is the question. This is too low down for this thing to rest it on. Maybe like that. No. Oh, well, this is going to be so awkward. To be in the air because of the angle. Oh, I should have thought this through more. I almost want to hang this over the desk, maybe. But then how am I going to do that? See, to be honest, I'm probably just going to have to do this with my eyes, and you're just going to have to watch from the side. I don't think I can get a good angle under the scope. Maybe if I like zoom in, there you can kind of see a bit of what I'm doing. But what I'm going to do is just use my eyes, kind of cut that there, and then I don't know whether you can't really see, unfortunately, but I'm just going to shorten the enamel wire, plug in on there. Use laptop, right? Oh yeah, to be honest, like a laptopy thing. I mean, you're going to get the worst possible view here of the whole process because not only am I left-handed and that camera's in the left hand, I'm going to be blocking it like this. So I'll just play some elevator music while I do this. And that one's on, I think. The only problem is some of these are the traces as well. You have to double check that. I think a lot of these are double traces. This just gets funner and funner. Where is this? So next one is fine, but then 1, 2, 3, of course, everyone after the next one also has a trace. So I suppose I need to not cut them as the key, and then just strip the wire, and then I'll go back under the scope to finish them off. So actually, you'll probably get to see most of this process. But what I have to do is strip that wire down. Yep, these on there, and now for these, I need to strip that down. Wow, this is I mean, it's going surprisingly well, but my eyes are so dry. Is that done? And this one actually, it's the only one that on this side that doesn't actually need doubling up. And then I've said you're the only one that doesn't need doubling up, and now I can't solder you. Why aren't you soldering? Why? Literally the simplest of all of these wires. What? Okay, this wire's trolling me now. Okay. Simplest one becomes most difficult. Right, I think that's all them on. And we can go back over to this view, maybe, or microscope view. So, well, to be honest, I can show you this now. Well, I can see for myself because I can't really see what I've done. Yeah, there you go. So, see how the wires are tacked on? So you can see they're physically attached. And then we've got these stripped, ready to now solder, these flappy bits of wire. This one I probably need to tidy up because that's just a mess and going nowhere else. And that one on there is already on underneath. You just can barely tell. So those wires are on. Now we need to go to the scope to do the trace repair stuff, which should be now doable. Oh wow, the reflections are ridiculous. That is some bad lighting. Wow, that's so bad, the lighting. The evening light is really not helping this, and you can barely see on there. See, this is why I want this better overhead. Well, this isn't overhead, better microscope capture thing, because these are just awful. So we said 4, didn't we? I think 4 in a row need trace repair, because I can't even see where they need trace repair. Does that one go to there? Must do. So I reckon that just needs to be. Can you even see what I'm doing? So you can't even see on this really, because it's just so bad. Yeah, you can't even see them like effectively stripping a trace there. The lighting is awful. So that's the trace exposed. Screenshots, yeah, cool. I'll double check it just now. This is trace on there. Like, honestly, that view is pretty much pointless for you guys. You literally can't see. There we go. Let's have a look at this picture. We have 1, 2. Where am I even at the minute? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is that one. So 5 over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, there wasn't another trace. I thought there was. What have I attached it to then? One with a gap. Yeah, I've attached it to a random trace there. Let's get that off. So you just want to go onto there. Let's just test with. I honestly think you guys are best just looking at. Oh no, you're not. Oh, yeah, that's even worse for you guys. Zoom out maybe. You guys can just stare at a bright light like that maybe. Let's get the multimeter on. Let's just check she can go through this. That to there. Let's also check it's not on a random trace now. Good. That's that one done. Yeah. Let's just play back a random stream while I do this one. So next one, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, actually, I might as well check while I'm there. The other one, I forgot it's quite easy to actually check if you've done the job, because you can actually get under. Yep, so there's that trace. Somewhere under there, to be honest, as bad as that camera is. At least you can see some of it, I guess. Yeah, that is shocking, that camera. Wow. Just a really, really fine depth of field. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've done 5, so now we should be on 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth is here, which is on, and obviously this flappy thing here. 1, 2, 3, 4. But that also should go to the trace coming down, which is what? Looked easier with an image, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, which is 1, 2, third one after the opening. So there's the opening, 1, 2, 3. So it should be onto this here. Really? That looks miles away. No, it can't be. There's no way that trace is that one there. No, it is. Wow. So let's get. Underestimated this. So it's that trace, but Why does my wire look so far away from it? There we go. And now you can, yeah, it just doesn't look right. That's like right by that wire. That can't be, can it? Oh, it is. It bends around here. That's a bugger. So long as the other one stays insulated, we've got a really close, like we have to run over another trace visually, which I do not like at all. But that's now on. I'm literally running over a trace, but let me see if it's actually connected to that other trace, so to be the one next to it. If we've connected it by mistake, then it would be so that connects there to be connected to this trace, basically. If we'd have done it, you know, it's going over and catching, and of course it is. Don't know what else to do with that one. It's because that wire, I'm going to try to lift it up in the air. There we go, and then placing back down. Right, I don't know how I did that with a big fat iron and no flux. I think you probably missed it as well because the camera wasn't on it. Well, let's see if that's fixed it. So that's on there. Hopefully it isn't on. Oh, sorry, wrong one. That's on there. Hopefully isn't on this thing. Walk off. Why are you still on there? I'm either probing something wrong or soldering something wrong here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me see if I can see. Something's not right here. Evening. Where is this thing? Right, what am I getting confused here? Oh, wow, that is terrible lighting. Come on, light. Too much light. Just enough light. Oh, because I've soldered to the wrong trace. It's the one over from it. That makes sense. Let's try again. I knew something wasn't right because it's quite clearly on. So it's even further away. Wow, this is a pain. So it's on this one. It just doesn't look right. That one's all the way over there. I even counted that on the picture. Obviously can't count. Get some flux in here. Where's my wire gone? I can't even see my wire. It disappeared. There he is. Get back. I think what I did was, oh, plenty of wire there. It's going to end up breaking on me now, Mal. There we go. I think he's on. Yeah, I should get that extractor on in a second. It's because I'm barely doing any soldering, like just dots. I haven't given it much thought about it. Wrong one again. That one. Good, we're no longer on the random trace because I haven't soldered to that this time. And we've repaired the trace. Cool. So this one I've been dicking with now. He's still good. Cool. Wow, that was confusing. Right, so now this one is 1, 2, 3 over, and it's quite obviously one that goes down from it, apparently. So that's this one next to it. I think that was the most complicated bit over, so. This one is just literally 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's this trace right next to it, so you can't really go wrong as such. Well, I can, but hopefully I'm not going to. I swear, every time I look up this, it's gone back out of focus the slightest movement. Really hate this microscope camera. See, the problem with the microscope cameras is you don't know until you buy them if they're any good. And they all advertise that they're amazing, and they're all 4K, and they're all this, that, the other. And then you get them in the shit, and they just go in a cupboard straight away. Like, I won't mind spending money on a microscope camera, but I'd want to know it's actually good first. Like, definitely good. I'm more tempted to, well, no, I kind of went out the idea of using a, like one of my DSLR cameras, because just the setup and the fact they don't like running permanent with, you know, like running constant, which all my stuff does. It's a shame I can't get a Blackmagic sensor to fit on. That would be insane. Imagine a Blackmagic sensor on a microscope. That one's good. Nearly there. The main thing, I did tons of, you probably won't be surprised, but I did an absolute ton of research into why these things are shit as well. And it's mainly because, is that one I've already done here? Second one in. It's mainly because if you imagine these, you can't even see them, these microscope heads. Actually, you can see it on this camera, like the face cam. These two eyes go in with a mirror to one for each, and it goes diagonal. So this rear camera that sits on it basically sits on an extra plane, but it goes down one of the eyes, and the eyes have got a slight tilt on left and right. So if you're looking completely flat down with a microscope with a very fine focus point, it's slightly tilted. So if I was to tilt this board up slightly like this, like not that extreme, but if I tilt the board up, that's how the microscope wants to see it at a slight angle. So I contemplated mounting my microscope angled or editing the microscope completely, you know, like going a bit over the top with it. But the biggest problem with them is if you want to then go with a trinocular with, what do they call it? I went into the whole thing about how every style of microscope works. And you want one that's called a certain thing that basically means your third objective is a straight down path. And the whole thing, rather, the whole head of the microscope is one giant lens. And that's the type of microscope you want. So instead of having these have got two optic paths and then they merge, you have one giant lens. And I can't think what the name of it is, but I did all that research, and I was then going to buy one of those microscopes. I just never got around to it, but I do think it'd be nice to have. I mean, I don't make any money off the streaming. That was the problem. So it's kind of, I'm only doing this for, I guess, so people can trust my work is one of the benefits when they see me working, but it doesn't bring me anything massive in. The subs are like the biggest thing that I think I've ever managed to get from anything social. Like the fact that I actually have some, like 57 subs now, really helps. It's a few £100 a month for doing this, which, like I say, is more than I've ever had for giving away all my knowledge free for 15 years. That's in now. Let's test this. So second one should be there. And obviously onto that trace, which it is. So the final one is already on there. And it just looks messy, basically. So maybe bring him up, lift him out of the way for now. And he's now technically on, just looks a bit messy. We'll probably, I'm pointing like you can see here on the you're on the camera that shows you nothing. Right, basically you'll have to trust me there that I've just done a really nice job on there. And I don't know, is there anything else left? Did we need to fix anything else? Oh yeah, let me try and show you that scope thing as well. I don't know how I'm going to find it. Let me just double check. Did we miss anything on this? That's repaired, double trace, double trace, double trace, single trace, single trace. That's all 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 repaired on that side and tested. The other side, let's have a look. So, see if you guys remember any more than I do. Because I've already forgotten everything we did. Zoom out. So we've repaired 5 traces, I think it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then skip 1 and 5. So I think it's skip 1 and 5. There's one under here and that one. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so we've done 6 we've repaired there. Oh shit, this one here I've got to repair. The floating wire that I said's dead easy. He's just floating still. Those 2 were just going the other side of the board and then no connects. And I think everything else was fine. So we do actually have this random floating pin I've got to try and do on here, which all I need to do is look diagonally. I'll turn my iron off. 2 on the left, I'm pretty sure with these 2, which on the other side of the board don't go anywhere. Works. More and more cross-eyed. Nice blob on there. That one's on. So I think that is it. I mean, that was a lot of trace repair, but I'd like to find nicer ways of doing that. Like, that wouldn't have been so bad if I couldn't get any good camera angles on it, with it being such a big board. It was really hard to get like any decent working angles to see what I'm doing. So I think hopefully he might work. I've got to make a BIOS now. Diag BIOS we can try, I guess. Let's boot this up and see. Oh, I've actually got a stock BIOS, but I think he's paid for... Actually, I don't think he has paid for a uni BIOS. I think he's just paid for Diag. Have a look. No, he hasn't paid. He sent it in without a BIOS, but then hasn't paid for a BIOS. I don't know what you expect from that. And with how much trace repair that's needed, I'm probably going to have to charge him for the BIOS, because it's been a lot of work. And we're hoping this is the only issue, which is another problem. And I think memory's coming back to me with this. I'm sure this is one of the things when I used to diagnose them at first that took me ages to realise, and no one says it anywhere, is if you use the Diag BIOS with no cartridge in, nothing works. And it's got nothing to do with the system. It's literally the Diag BIOS needs a cartridge, and I'm sure remember that. And you literally need a cartridge, otherwise Diag BIOS just doesn't do anything, and then you're thinking your system's bad when it's not. Come on, gang, little finicky holes. These have slightly bent with them being stored in my tub. The only problem with these turn pins is a nightmare to get in sometimes. You can literally spend like 5 minutes trying to get these in sockets sometimes. There we go. Right, so Diag BIOS is in. We need power supply now, which is a 9 volt, which I'll probably check all the way down. Let's see. Quicker to test, I can't remember. Ground is top corner. Yeah. I can never remember where good definite grounds are on this board because there's not that much exposed. Pretty sure the top left pin, yeah, ground. So that means we have Game Gear power supply can power this. Yep, Game Gear power supply. Cool. There we go. Game. Where is cables. Let's see if this works. Oh yeah, I saw I can't think. Fairly popular YouTuber. A couple of months ago, maybe. I think I mentioned it on stream. And is it Tronics Fix? I can't remember. Some guy, and it's quite popular on YouTube. And he was working on one of these, and the first thing he did was plugged a 9-volt straight into a 5-volt system. And for the whole video, it just kept going and going, and I was, oh god, I was cringing so much. And it survived. I've got no idea how. Well, I know how it survived. All the ESD protection kicked in on the chips, so that'll have aged the console massively. But oh my god, I couldn't believe somebody with that much following and experience made that mistake. But I suppose many people have. I probably even made it when I first worked on them. Right, so let's see if we get diag BIOS. Nice. All test pass. Got that. First go. Right, so customer needs to pay for a UniBIOS, really. I mean, there's two options. You can, we sell the UniBIOS and he's only got plug it in now. So I might, considering this is like 2 months old and needs to go, I can message him, and if he doesn't get back to me, ship it Monday anyway. But I've got a stock BIOS that I can give him for free. And he could always then just buy a UniBIOS. It's just a bit strange how he hasn't brought one, but I've got a feeling he's probably already got a UniBIOS. Did I miss something? How do you know, or what is the reason? You'll have to repeat, because I didn't. All the chat's gone when it doesn't appear on screen at the minute. Let's see if this works. We should get gameplay, I presume, from this. There we go. 5 or 9 volts. Look for this big coil. And this 5-pin chip. It's on the wiki, retro6.wiki. It's literally safe boot and it tells you all about it. Let me pull up that wiki. Oh, the wiki's crazy popular as well. Now I've made it myself. Turn that down a bit. Go to PC. Go. So, yeah, we've got 46,000 people have visited in less than a few weeks. It's absolutely crazy. Neo Geo. So, initial power up. This kind of points here. If you see this 3-pin, it's a 5-volt. If you see the big coil, the coil can be in multiple ways. Then it's a 9-volt. That's the only pure safe way. Yeah, there's the ground pin I remember as well. And that's if you want to power it from bench. So the wiki's got everything. Let me see if I can find that scope I was on about. Oh, I forgot all about Facebook chat as well. Love these streams, I learn so much. Clumber Park is near Newark, not York. It is. Is that not also near York? Like, I suppose York's another hour. To me, that's close to York. I'm heading to York. Yeah, Tronics Fix, that's the one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there's nothing on this system that uses 9 volts, I don't believe, because you can. Obviously, I sell the clean power. Actually, I don't. I retrofit clean powers to this, but yeah, you can power every 9-volt version with 5 volts, so it's just purely as a regulator. I think it was just more common back then, like to have the higher voltage means the power brick doesn't need to provide as much current, so they did higher voltages to pump the enough current through because you need less of it, and then let the console regulate down. I don't know. I'm going to find this microscope thing. Microscope. I don't even know what to look for. I just know I found it. And it's basically like just a big glass window that you look in. Microscope with big glass window. I genuinely don't know how I'm going to find it. I should find it just searching. They're about. I think the reason I didn't get them, I was going to get them for vision engineering. Is that it? Might be vision engineering. I was going to get them for everybody when I had like 3 or 4 people working for me. Like in the soldering specific department, we had like 3 or 4 people at one point. And so I was going to buy 4, and then I can't remember. No, it's not. Oh. No, it's not vision engineering. I wanted a certain version of it, but it needed some other stuff, and I was going to buy them, and they were like £2,000, but then I realised, oh, that doesn't have something I needed, and the next model up was like £6,000, so then it was going to be a £20,000 plus bill nearly for buying a microscope for everybody. I can't see any images. I've got to spot it somewhere. And it was a UK company, and they offered me to basically pull the HDMI up. I guess you can watch the game in a minute. They offered obviously to go drive over and check them out and use them. I just don't know what else to search for about a microscope with big viewing plane or viewing window. If anybody has any, like, finds anything, let me know. And they just look like I say, like you're looking into a massive VR headset, but it's the microscope. Got to find it somewhere. Yeah, there you go. Microscope that looks like a VR headset. Come on, Google, do your magic. You normally find stuff straight away. See, no, King of Fighters, I cannot win a single match on King of Fighters. I can't believe I can't find this microscope thing. It had like a natural soft curvy arm as well. I suppose transparency, flickering shadows. Yes, I think you're right. Maybe, unless it's a specific game, Samurai Spirits. Because everything else is working. And all the tests pass, which doesn't always mean the video output's right. Maybe run this on an emulator if we can, or another. I could run it on another Neo Geo. Let's have a reset. Yeah, I know what you mean about the shadows, though. That's a suspicious thing. Keep an eye out in a minute. Still on the hunt for my microscope. Mantis. That's it. I don't know what's come to me. Mantis is the name of the microscope. There we go. Straight away. It is vision engineering. But it's not the vision engineer I found. There we go. Where's the official website then? I don't know why Mantis sprung like to mind. It was because visioneng.com. It's because it looks like a praying mantis, I think. Yeah, there we go. Right then. PC. Yeah, them shadows. I'd get a video up of Samurai Spirits, see if that should be happening. This is the one. So these vision ones, I don't know whether there's any videos, stereos, these things. I think it was the Mantis I was looking at. Eyepieceless stereo microscopes. Stereo microscopes. Yeah, this thing, Mantis. Yeah, look at that, Mantis. So you basically sit and you just look through it, and apparently you can see, based on the marketing material, you can just kind of look through it like that, just ergonomically. But the problem is, like, how does it look, if you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to tell when I need it for work. If, for one, I'd need the floating arm thing, not the one attached to the desk. Let me hide my face a minute so you can see. It looks like it's going to be really cool, and you're not looking down, and I can swing it out the way. And I think it has the third scope for recording, which would be ridiculously clear as well. Yeah, it's got you saw the third straight down lens there, but these things are like $5-6 grand, I think they are. Should we have a fundraiser? Or should we reach out to them and see if they want to sponsor us? That'd be pretty sick if they did, but I don't think they would. Most people don't they feel like they're not going to get enough money back because how many of my viewers are going to buy a £6 lens is the thing. But yeah, look, like, meant to be super clear. It'd be nice to have, you know, a lens that, like a scope that's as good, because no, it's pure optics. There's no screen. It's a pure optical solution. But like I say, I'd have to go and travel and find one. Like, book a demo. Let me see where they are. I just couldn't be bothered when you know, at the time I was that busy. Even just traveling for a day was out of the question. I'm too busy to do stuff like that. Vision Engineering 01483. What area code is 01483? Guildford, Surrey. How far is Surrey from Stoke-on-Trent driving? 3 hours. Yeah, it's London, and that's a long way to go. Just for look at a microscope and drive back. I'd have to like go down. I'd have to probably. In fact, you could go for me. You could go and tell me how good they are. No, I might have to like go down and I don't know. Yeah, I could come down and see you. Stay somewhere near. Go for like. It's not a bad idea actually. I could come down, stay in a hotel, go for a night out with the missus, and go see that. That's not actually a bad idea. I might do that. Right, let's look up these videos a minute on Samurai Showdown. See if that flickering happens, unless somebody else already has. Samurai Showdown. Neo Geo gameplay. Let's see. Mute. Intro. Blah blah blah. Get to the thing. They flicker. No, they do flicker. Although, admittedly, this is the real game. Hey, this is cool. I can do this. Put this on full screen. This is going to trip you out. So this is the emulator. Well, the video of it playing. Look at the flickering. And I can tab back to hours. This is the real console. So I can like, if I pause that a minute. So this is the real Neo Geo you're seeing at the minute. Yeah, Retrosix South Mid. The misses would kill me if we had too much of a thingy. So there's that. See how slow that flickering is though? Versus that one. But bear in mind, I know what this might be. I'm going to blame the Mac again. This might be the video capture. Let me try it in the CRT. That's how we know. I'd have to do I could do a non-holiday visit. I could just do actual, just coming down for like a meetup, go for a curry or something. Right, so let me see what it looks like on the actual the CRT, and that'll be the telltale. But either way, I think the customer would have to probably have to pay more for any further diagnostics, because he hasn't paid for a BIOS, and he's got what am I doing? Turned it off. He hasn't paid for the BIOS, and he's going to get a BIOS, and this would be further diagnostics beyond that time frame as well. So we'll see. Yeah, that's a good point. It might not be the same one either. Yeah, I mean, I've got another Neo Geo. I suppose that's the answer. Yeah, brought one from Japan just because I couldn't resist. Dear Luke, enjoy from Mackie. Nice. One thing you always love about when you buy stuff from Japan, it's so much more polite and well packaged and stuff. So yeah, got that. So we've got another one here, which I think I brought this one working maybe. So we could always whip this one open quickly to see. Oh no, it's fine. The CRT's flickering dead fast. It's just the video capture cards smoothing out the frames. Yeah, it's working perfect. Can I probably get that on? Yeah, I could probably swing this thing around, can't I? Can I lift it up? Oh, of course it's gone off. Now I'm going to have to hold this camera. I don't know, it's going to be quicker reset than wait. Tell you what, let me bend this up so I keep holding it. There we go. So I don't need to get that other one out of the way. That one done. 52 days old. You watch this camera, will smooth it now. That's zoomed in and focused. yeah, cool. This is wrapping up now anyway, this stream, so I'll listen to your message shortly. There you go, look at that. Smooth flicker. So it's just that's the CRT, and then quickly swap it over if it's still on that scene. And jump on there. That's the same thing. So it's just the capture card smoothing it out, interestingly. But it's good to know. And there's the Mac. That's to blame. The Mac can't do frame interpolation correctly. There we go. So yeah, that's pretty much it anyway. That's the things I wanted to do. We've got the Neo Geo done, the game's done. There the caps. Yeah, and that's it. So I'll probably catch you guys tomorrow as well, maybe. I've got to do a load of stuff. I've fixed the UV printer, so I'm going to have tons to do. Yeah, thanks guys for joining in. I'll see you shortly. We'll do a sub stream as well in the next few days. Yeah, fun enough. Just as I said it. Yeah, we'll jump on and get that Game Boy wrapped up soon. That's it on. Cool, man. See you guys tomorrow.